Hello and welcome. My name is Kimberly. I am a mental health therapist for the Transitional Age Community Treatment Team. I'm also the program coordinator for this team here at North Range Behavioral Health. I'd like to thank you all for joining me today and spending some time doing this Coffee with Counselor. Today is the second edition for the Serenity series that I'm going to be doing throughout the month of June. And today we're going to be discussing the importance of having a calm mind and a calm body. So I'm really excited about this. I hope everyone has something to drink. I've got my ice water here. I've drank plenty of coffee this morning. So if you have something to drink, just sit back and then we'll go ahead and we'll get started. So last week, I stressed the importance of taking moments for ourselves. Basically kind of like a timeout per se for our minds, just to kind of take a break from everything. I think right now we really are kind of living in an especially important moment in history, and some of us could be feeling disconnected, sad, angry, hopeless, and also possibly feeling some disappointment as we grapple with the divisions within our society and the challenges that we still kind of face ahead of us. I think we all have gone through a variety of compounding stressors this year, and I think it's crucial always, but more so even now, that we find ways to kind of cope with our stressors and these intense feelings that we could be facing right now. I think doing this can really help us extend compassion for those that we love, ourselves, and even our community at large. I really have to say I'm happy that I work for an organization that really values the importance of hope and compassion for those that we serve. And I want you to know that North Range at this time is offering a free telehealth therapy appointment for those that live in Weld County and are not actively enrolled in services presently. And to do this, you can call 970-347-2120 to get this appointment scheduled. And you just mentioned North Range Cares. We really are here to serve everyone with dignity and respect. So for today's topic, we really are going to discuss the importance of managing our stress. I'm going to go over a couple proven techniques that can help people kind of take a break from what's plaguing us at the moment. And it's not only good for our minds, but for our bodies as well. So why should we do this? Well, right now, I'd like you all just to kind of take a moment and maybe pay attention to any areas of your body that might feel tight, sore, or just achy, and not related to kind of any activities that you've been engaging in recently. Like exercise or anything, like being sore for that reason, but just being sore for no general reason at all. That's the effect of stress on our bodies. Many times you'll feel it in like your neck, your shoulder, upper back. Another important thing to kind of pay attention to is sometimes we tend to kind of shrug our shoulders when we're feeling tense or stressed, and we don't even realize we're doing this. So if you notice you are shrugging your shoulders, kind of loosen them up and just kind of let them lay normal. Stress really can have take a serious toll on our bodies. And this is due to that fight or flight mode that we have. When the fight or flight mode is triggered, which stress triggers this, it really can lead to some serious medical issues, heart disease, obesity, autoimmune disorders, insomnia, gastrointestinal issues. And like I said earlier, this could just be the reason why we just kind of feel really achy in our bodies. And that is really because stress hormones get released when that fight or flight mode is triggered, and it goes to our muscles because that was used to kind of save our lives in the past. But when it's triggered because of stress, our muscles don't actually have to be used to either fight or to flee, and because it's from our minds. And so since we're not actively using our muscles to do something, it just kind of sits there, and then our muscles kind of just remain tight. So for our mental health and our physical health, it's really important that we try and do some stress management techniques to just kind of help us calm us down a bit. I do want to say, however, if you feel like you're suffering from some type of medical ailment due to long-term stress, please seek out the advice of your doctor. And if you do not have one, please seek out one, because just doing stress management techniques alone is not going to cure ailments that are due to long-term stress. So what can we do? One thing that I really like to encourage people I work with to do is progressive muscle relaxation. This is generally a safe practice for anyone. If you do have any concerns, you don't feel like you can kind of tighten up your muscles and stuff, seek out the advice of your doctor. Also, if you have like an injury to certain areas of your body, you can actually skip those muscle groups and just go on to the next. So this is an activity that you can do any time of day. You can do it sitting up or laying down. I've known some people who have tried doing it standing up, but I would highly recommend you sit down in a comfortable place or do it while laying down. I've also encouraged a lot of people that I work with that have difficulty sleeping or have those like really anxiety-filled dreams to do this activity prior to falling asleep. Because one, it will kind of help us calm down a bit, our body and our mind, but it also helps people fall asleep in a more relaxed state. So, the premise behind this activity is if your body feels relaxed, your mind's going to feel relaxed. So you want to move through your muscle groups in a specific order. So, this is the one that I'm going to go through for you, and you can see that you start at your right arm, your left arm, then you move down to your legs, your right leg, left leg, then you move up to your stomach, then your back, neck, and face. So I am actually going to put this entire thing in the comment section so that you guys can save this and print it off. It has all the directions and the muscle groups that you should be kind of activating. So, for starters, you want to try and clear your mind, and you want to take some really good, like, intentional belly breaths, like the breaths that I went over a couple weeks ago. So take a couple really good deep breaths, and that's just kind of to get yourself in that calm state so you can focus on this activity. So what you do first is you want to start with your right arm and hand, and if you're laying down, you can just kind of, it's hard to show, but you tighten up your fist, and you tighten up the muscles in your arms in any way that you can. You do not want to tighten them to the point where it starts to feel crampy or it hurts. You just want to do it to where it just feels tight. And when you do it, you want to be taking good deep breaths, and you want to hold that tightness for about a few seconds and then release it fast. You don't want to release it slowly, because when you release it fast, it just is more effective. You want to wait about 10 seconds or so before you move to the next muscle group. And the next muscle group in this one is going to be going over to your right hand and your right arm and tensing that area. Then you're going to move down to your right leg and foot, and you can do that by kind of either scrunching your toes, like curling your toes in and then tightening your leg muscles, or you can kind of push your foot up towards your calf muscles. You can do it that way as well. And then you move to your left leg and then up to your stomach. To tighten up your stomach, a good thing you can do is kind of suck in your stomach really tight, almost like you're trying to arch your back forward, and you just hold that and then release it. Then you want to go to your back. To tighten up the muscles in your back, the best way to do it is really to kind of scrunch your shoulder blades together. That's the easiest way to do it. When it comes to tightening up the neck muscles, you kind of want to either lean back into your chair and just kind of push your neck back or your head back to it, because that tightens everything there. If you're laying down, you can push your head back into your pillow. For your face, I know it's going to look weird, but you scrunch up your face as tight as you can, and then you hold that. You really want to be taking good deep breaths while you're doing this activity. That's crucially important. You can keep moving through this like clock if you want to, or you can just do it once. Do whatever is going to work the best for you. There are many things online that you can find, that like audio clips on YouTube, that will kind of walk you through this technique. Feel free to do that. I think those are absolutely wonderful. There's actually some calming music that tends to go with them too. So I think that's an added benefit. are other ones that will show you that you can kind of start at your feet and move all the way up to your head, and that's totally fine. They tend, however, to skip tightening up your back, and that is really important that you do that, because the muscle groups that I discussed in this one really tend to trigger the ones that our stress hormones tend to go to, and those are the ones that kind of stay tight in our bodies. So you definitely want to make sure that you're getting your arms, your legs, your stomach, your back, neck, and your face. And don't forget, in the comment section, I will definitely upload the image. So, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask questions in the comment section as well. The second activity I wanted to go over was guided imagery. With this activity, you get to use the power of your imagination, and you want to use all of your senses. The wonderful part about this activity is that it kind of helps you remove all that clutter in your brain, because you're using your mind to create imagery. And so you're kind of using your mind and kind of filling your mind with images, and so it kind of helps you remove that clutter because you're filling it with something else, something positive. So this activity has a lot of positive research that shows it can actually reduce stress that is related to illnesses, post-traumatic stress disorder, occupational stress, and depression. This is a safe practice really for anyone to engage in. However, if any unpleasant images come to your mind or unpleasant memories, and it makes you feel concerned, please reach out to a support person. If you have a therapist, you can reach out to them to discuss this. And if you don't, you can call North Range at 970-347-2120 to talk to somebody. With this activity, you definitely want to find a quiet space. There are YouTube videos, once again, that you can look up, audio clips. There are even some apps that will help you walk through this process. That's just a good FYI for you guys. So once again, you want to start off with some really good intentional belly breaths. You want to be taking those deep breaths throughout the entire process of this technique and the progressive muscle relaxation. You really want to give yourself a mental picture of a really safe space and a place that just helps you feel calm. 90% of the people that I work with, two themes really tend to pop up, either the mountains or the beach. A good example of the mountains, I had said to really use all your senses, is if you were to imagine the mountains, really kind of close your eyes and truly be there. Smell the pine trees, listen to the birds chirping, or listen to the sound of branches cracking underneath your feet as you're walking through that space. Feel the warmth of the sun coming down through the trees. When it comes to taste, you can focus on whatever taste you presently have in your mouth, or even, focus on imagining taking a drink of water while you're walking through that space. You really want to try and be there in your mind as much as you can. The more details you can get, the better. I would say do this for at least 5 minutes. If you can do it longer, excellent. Do it as long as you possibly can. When you are done, just quietly and softly come back to the present moment. With more practice, this technique really gets easier to do. And then you'll be able to add more details to your imagery, and that is just, it actually, the more details you can get, the more effective it actually is. This is also a practice that we can encourage our children to do, children of any ages, because they have amazing imaginations, and we cannot negate the stress and the overwhelming feelings that our children and our adolescents are also facing. This is something also, once again, you can do anytime throughout the day. So, these stress management techniques can really be helpful for absolutely anyone, especially now. I think it's really important that we need to be taking care of ourselves and kind of giving us a quiet space to get away from everything. These really not only give us give our minds a break from our current stressors, but also kind of gives our body a break from them as well. A really great quote that came to my mind as I was thinking about this is, when we meet real or great tragedy in our lives, we kind of have two options of how we choose to deal with them. We can either lose hope and fall into self-destructive habits, or we can use the challenge to find inner strength. I think right now is not the time for us to lose hope. It is time for us to find that innate strength within ourselves and use it to do better and to feel better. I do want to say, if you or someone you know is struggling or experiencing a behavioral health emergency, please contact our crisis team at 970-347-2120. You can also walk into our crisis building at 928 12th Street in Greeley. You can also text TALK, TALK, at 38255. You can also call our warm line at 970-347-2359 if you just feel like you need to talk to somebody. Also, like I had said earlier, North Range is offering a free telehealth therapy appointment for Weld County residents who are not already enrolled in services with us, and you can call the 970-347-2120 and just mention North Range Cares to get this appointment scheduled. Thank you again for joining me here today. Really try and do these activities. Pick one, or I would say try both of them, and then try and incorporate one of them into your life and something that you can do, especially before you're falling asleep. You're already lying there trying to feel relaxed, so it's a good thing to try and do at night. And try to kind of incorporate it, especially now, just so you can kind of deal with all the stress that's going on and help yourself feel a little bit better. So thank you and have a beautiful day.